We've got to build up our military strength, our technology strength. We've got to outpace them in AI, for instance, in biotechnology. We've got to be strongly committed to our allies. That's the way to outpoint Chinese in this game for global power. I will say this, the one area where they are more influential for us, unfortunately, and I say this with pain, is this Belt Road Initiative. Over the last 11 years now, almost 12, they've put out about $1 trillion in basically Chinese capital investment tied to Chinese companies and Chinese contracts. This is not free money. Led to a lot of indebtedness on the recipient countries, but they have enormous influence in sub-Saharan Africa, in South America, in Central Asia, in Southeast Asia, and parts of South Asia. I've just kind of skipped kind of clockwise around the world. And it buys them influence, it buys them votes in the UN. I'll give you an example. I was with President Biden at the Lima summit in Peru just in November, where he met Xi Jinping. And the day before the meetings began, Xi Jinping dedicated a new port just north of Lima on the coast, $3 billion port that the Chinese built and the Chinese paid for. And it's a port designed to reorient trade from Brazil and Peru and Ecuador and maybe even Colombia more to China and take some of that action away from the United States. Very strategic. We've got to compete with them. There are many ways we can do this. Our private sector is key. I used to always tell the Chinese, and the strength of our economy is in the private sector. It's not in the American government, it's in the private sector. So mobilizing our private sector is going to be important. I think USAID, look, every government agency needs to be reformed. There's not a single one that doesn't, and you've got to have a continuous process of reform. I don't think it should disappear because, frankly, it represents the strength in our aid to other countries. USAID primarily concerned with global health. If you think of the PEPFAR program that President George W. Bush, Bush 43, started, one of the most important things we've done as a country in the last 20 years is this aid to HIV victims, and we've saved millions of lives through that program. So I think that we ought to keep, whether it's an independent agency, whether, as Secretary Rubio says, it's going to be folded into the State Department, we need a strong aid apparatus, and we need those dedicated health experts and diplomats at USAID who have a lot of experience. So my personal view is, reform it, yes. Look for waste, absolutely. We're talking about the U.S. government. We can always look for that, and we should. But to do away with it altogether, I think would be a mistake, and I think it would hurt us in this worldwide competition that we have ongoing with the Chinese.